I am doing another live today for day 2 of Wellness. And so, if you're not familiar with what that is, because I don't think I've really seen any other creators doing it, Wellness is just my version of Vlogmas. And so, I'll be sharing all kinds of wellness content, wellness tips, fibroid tips this month. And I'm even thinking about doing a little bit of vlogging this month. So whenever you guys come across these videos, let me know if you like the formats that I'm doing, because I'm going to be doing a lot of experimenting this month. So I am going to leave the chat open in case I get any questions. But I really do like going live sometimes because it's just easier for me to just, when I'm feeling it, talk about the subject that I got going on. Now, right now, I'm actually getting ready to go somewhere. So I'm going to be doing my makeup a little bit while we are talking about this subject. But today, I really wanted to share with you 3 things that are really going to level up your fibroid elimination journey. There are 3 areas that I feel like this year I focused a lot more on. And as a result, I feel like I've made even more progress this year because I was kind of feeling stagnant in my journey to where, the large fibroid that I have, like it wasn't shrinking anymore. And even some of my symptoms, like earlier this year, I had some of my symptoms come back. And so I kind of just, I don't know if you would call it a plateau or just this stale place where I kind of feel like I was going through the motions of doing all my routines and stuff like that. And if you're like me and you are or you tend to lean to more like logical, getting the things done, I was starting to feel, I guess, just not as motivated. I was still doing all the things, but I really realized that I needed to take a step back, stop doing all the things, and really just sit with myself and figure out what I needed to do next. And so this year, especially this last half of the year, these are 3 things that I've really, really honed in on. And the first one is going to be my stress management, or really, I should say stress elimination. So, for one thing, this year, I actually got laid off twice this year. Well, technically, the second one wasn't a layoff. It was a a contract that I was doing that ended. So I ended up getting laid off from my day job. Now, mind you, I never felt like my job was stressful at all. I still to this day don't really believe that my job itself was particularly stressful. I enjoyed the people that I was working with. It was honestly, I really felt like it was a pleasant work environment for me. But I do, after like revisiting that whole situation, I do realize there were some things that weren't necessarily aligned with me and my well being while I was at that job. And it really had nothing to do with the people that I was working with or the job itself. It was just, sometimes things are not necessarily negative experiences, they're just not in alignment. And so now that I'm out of that situation, I'm like, okay, I can see where this might have been adding some stress or like this. And sometimes some of our stress is really insidious. It's not very overt. It's not something that we experience overtly. So it's really hard to pinpoint it. So if you are someone who is knowingly dealing with a lot of stress, it's going to be really important for you in this upcoming year to start journaling, to start noticing some things that are causing you urgency all the time, making you feel anxious. You really want to be on top of those things because, to be honest, stress is going to be one of the biggest parts in improving your hormone health, eliminating or stopping fibroid symptoms like stress. It actually impacts everything. And that's why in my ebook, Habits of Fibroid Management, I talk about stress first. Because, in my opinion, it really is the most important piece of the puzzle. And that's just because for a lot of us, that stress is causing our bodies to not be able to work properly. Because I even got to a point where I felt like I'm doing all the things, but I realized that I'm doing all the things as far as like wellness and taking care of my body, but then there are all these areas in my life where I am experiencing stress or discomfort or anxiety that have to be dealt with. And so that's something that I've been working on a lot this year. And just really making a decision that I will not be stressed and doing everything that's within my control or power to, thwart all of those things that are causing me stress, that are keeping my nervous system in an uproar all the time. And the next thing that I recommend doing is really focusing in on your gut health. And I know I said I was supposed to be doing my makeup, so let me do that so I can multitask a little. But one thing that I have noticed is that when I started not just focusing on your diet, because we all kind of know basically on a basic level what to eat and not to eat, right? When you scroll through Instagram or TikTok, it's everybody's telling you what to eat and not to eat, you know. But I think what's actually more important than that is really eating for your body's individual needs, and also even how you're eating. So I am unfortunately guilty of watching TV when I eat or being distracted, being on my phone. I had kind of gotten out of that, but for some reason lately I've started back doing that a lot more. And so I'm just realizing how much of an impact that's actually been having on my digestion and my gut health. Because I actually started to have some really weird digestive symptoms, and at one point they got pretty severe. But what I realized in that is that it's actually some of the things that I'm doing. So, one particular thing that has been super helpful for me, and it's probably going to be surprising if you follow me on like Instagram or or TikTok or something like that, because I probably have shared that I'm not a huge fan of intermittent fasting for women. I'm not saying that I think it's bad. It's just not my favorite thing. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. It's just not my favorite thing. But I have actually realized that one of my issues, because I was so busy trying to focus on building muscle and all this stuff, I was actually eating too frequently because I'm trying to get so much protein in, so much, fiber in. So I'm trying to eat all these meals. And what I was realizing is I wasn't giving my body enough time to recover or to actually finish digesting, the last meal that I ate. So something big that I've started doing to improve my gut health is just making sure that I at least have a 12-hour at minimum window between my last meal and my first meal. And sometimes I increase it. Sometimes I increase that window. Sometimes I'm very careful about how I do that. And I use my cycle as kind of a guide of how long I'm going to be fasted every day. So, of course, like if I'm on my period, I don't want to be doing, or right before my period, I don't want to be doing these long windows of fasting, because it can just be more stressful for my body. And we are trying to have as little stress as possible right now. So the other thing, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get these brows like okay. So the other thing that I have done this year, and I kind of touched on this earlier, is I have really reconsidered my routines and rituals. Now, I am not saying that what I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. So by revisiting my routines and rituals, I kind of realized that, like I said before, I was really just kind of going through the motions. Like I put together this routine that I thought I needed, and maybe I did actually need it at the time, but now things have changed for me. Things are different for me. So one big thing for me has been trying to wake up at 5 a.m., which, by the way, used to be a super easy thing for me. I used to be a person that just wakes up earlier for whatever reason. Right now, in this season of life, that does not feel good to me. And so I have kind of just accepted that, especially with me not working a full time job right now. I realized, okay, I actually do have the flexibility to sleep a little bit later than I normally would, and that is okay. So I also really had to think about, is what I'm doing actually helpful for me right now? Is this what I need right now at this time? And again, the waking up early thing, I didn't necessarily need to wake up. I don't necessarily need to wake up at 5 a.m. I don't necessarily need to go through this whole 20-step routine every day. I don't have to do those things, and it's not necessarily in line with my goals. So if you find yourself feeling like you're just going through the motions, you're just checking off the boxes with your routines, really think about why you're doing it, and maybe it's time for you to revisit those routines and figure out where you can insert the wellness things that you need to have. Figure out where you can insert those things. Y'all, I did not do any of the makeup that I said that I was going to do, but this month I think I am going to do a couple makeup and skincare videos. So if you're into that, let me know in the comments of this video. Also, make sure you give this video a like. If you are just coming across me, I just realized I didn't even introduce myself at the beginning of the video. But I'm Shantae. I am talking about this today because I'm a fibroid thriver. I came from having very large fibroids to now, the largest one that I had is about half its size now. And also, I rarely have any symptoms of the fibroids anymore. And so, yeah, I just share my journey with that. But if that's something that you need help with, something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe so that you can catch all my videos this month. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a video a day, or Monday through Friday up until Christmas. I think I'm going to do it till Christmas Eve, maybe. I don't know. Probably up until Christmas. But thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video tomorrow.